Hey everyone, Cholera with Moletrap here, set 3 of Oz versus Samson Khan. We've seen Hiya do a good number on Khan's 2 challengers here, and now he's going to be facing none other than Sunbyung-gu Stork, who hopefully will do better than Jangbi in set 1 against him on Medusa. Medusa is a pretty good Protoss map, though, to say the least, but so is Andromeda. So, Stork, though, is, well, I mean, obviously Stork is very top-notch, and, I'm going to guess he's probably going to go for Reavers, going to go for some early pressure, who knows, but Hiya is going to face a pretty difficult opponent here, and we'll see if he's actually deserving of being a Pro League star in playing against Stork here.
Yeah, and this match actually took place before Stork's games against 4GG in the MSL, I believe. I won't spoil those because
True.
those have just come out. But suffice it to say that Stork has been practicing his Protoss versus Terran, and he's probably got some builds in mind already. Although I don't know if he wants to reveal those builds in this Winners League matchup. But Stork very capable of just playing standard and doing very well with standard play. So probably what I'm expecting him to do is go for just kind of a normal build, and probably 10-15 gate is good on this map, for instance. Um, since there's no ramp, it's very easy to go in and put some pressure on because it's hard for the Terran to protect their tanks and that sort of thing. So probably going to see Stork do something like that, and like you said, probably do some Reavers and Reaver Harass. His Reaver Harass is absolutely sublime. So he's probably just going to stick with that kind of thing and go for that. Stork, by the way, is the Protoss player we're looking at now in kind of the 7 o'clock position. Hiya, the Terran player in purple, ooh, nice color, at the kind of top left area, about 10 o'clock. And should be fun, though. Medusa is a fun map, so I'm hoping it'll turn out to be very interesting one way or another.
Looks like Hiya is going to wall off his main base here, and one thing that Stork can do so well is go for what I like to call the crush strategy. It actually doesn't really involve any kind of main strategy. It's basically just building lots and lots of Dragoons and Speedlots and putting them around the Terran's natural expansion, so when the Terran tries to move out with his big push, you just stomp on him at the perfect moment. Of course, you need a lot of observers there to know when the Terran is unsieged, and you just crush the Terran as they move out. You never give him that ability to move out with his tanks. And also, obviously, with your Dragoons in a circle around his natural, they can't go for any kind of vulture harass either. So that is definitely a viable mid-game strategy on this map, especially. One of the other reasons for this map being so good for Protoss is that you can't build in the middle, and that obviously prevents the Terran from doing any kind of slow push with vultures. I'm sorry, with turrets. And there's Stork going for a 12 Nexus. That is yet another reason why this map is good for Protoss. The Protoss can go for a fast expand very safely with that base behind their main. So Hiya right now is probably thinking, I'm gonna guess he's thinking about doing a one base strategy to start off with, because this map is so hard for Terran for those various reasons. He probably wants to end this relatively early, and we've seen lots and lots of two facts on this map. Lots and lots of also starport drops. Fantasy has done that quite a few times against Protoss players on this map. So we'll see what Hiya decides to do here. I'm gonna guess it's gonna be faster though.
Yeah, he's probably going to go for, depending on, he might try and do something tricksy if he scouts Stork. If he scouts Stork going for the early Nexus, he may do, well, maybe not anymore actually, because he's got his
No.
SCVs off of gas in preparation for a factory into command center build. I was going to say he's probably going to go for, is Stork going to be able to, he does, he
Oh,
squeezes the
nice.
probe through the
Pimp.
door with a pylon trick. Nicely done. He's going to scout everything going on. He sees the single factory. He sees the SCVs not on gas. He's going to be able to run up and around and take that Marine for a wild ride. And wow, so nicely done. I even said that in one of my commentaries the other day, or like a couple weeks ago. I'm like, man, I wish players would use the pylon to squeeze their probe through the front door buildings. And Stork pulled it off. So, and he's even going to get another round and be able to run back around and just double check that Hiya's not doing anything too interesting. So Stork is going to be pretty safe here, and Hiya finally scouting it, but far too late to switch to any kind of a rush. So Stork is going to have an economic advantage already going into the mid game.
Absolutely, certainly. And right now, this probe is just so annoying for Hiya. He's got to be pretty annoyed. That Wallen is a complete Wallen, and oh man, he's even going to scout the fast expand here. So Stork knows exactly what's going on, and that leads him to, he can choose a lot of different strategies. He doesn't have to go observers first. That's one thing that's pretty important to note, that he doesn't have to go for early obs in case there is some kind of two-fact timing push with mines. And instead, looks like he's going to go for goon range. He might be going for some early pressure at the front door, going to try to stop Hiya Hiya from being able to land his command center and really gain any kind of economic advantage. So that's pretty smart for Stork also. He might also transition from this 2-gate into another base, picking up his natural expansion with gas, and that's another option on this map for Stork. Stork really has been doing great, by the way. Let's just, while there's a moment, and he's just been doing great. He hasn't really slumped at all. People were a little bit scared of him going the mini slump, but he's, still in the round of 8 on both sides of the OSL and MSL. I actually haven't watched Stork versus 4GG, so I don't know what's going on there. But if he made it into the round of 4 or not. But as I last checked, of course, he is in both of the round of 8s. It looks like a starport going up for Hiya. So Hiya is going to be trying to go for an early drop here, probably with a Vulture tank drop or maybe just a Vulture drop.
Yeah, Stork, like very recently, he has been doing well. He did kind of, for a little bit, he was falling into, and this is funny that for Stork, winning barely more than half your games is a little bit of a mini slump. Some people strive all of their lives and win half of their games for the whole career, and they consider it success. But Stork has been playing really well the last couple weeks. He's kind of gotten back into it. Maybe he was just toying with everyone. Now he's gearing up for the real deal. Now that he's getting into the round of 8 and getting to play some really difficult players. Like he's actually playing Jadong in the OSL and lifting that barracks at just the wrong time, letting Stork get
Wow.
up close and personal with his tanks and picks off a tank, only loses that Zealot and does not lose his Dragoons at all. So a good trade for Stork, able to just do some harassment here and forcing Hiya to keep those few SCVs off the supply lines for the moment. So Stork doing what he's been doing a lot lately and doing it well is putting some early pressure on and picking off tanks and what have you and I mean that's just key. If you can keep the Terran forces low, it makes it so much better for you in the long run. If you trade forces like that, the Terran lives to just build up a squad of 12 tanks and then support with vultures and move out. So if you can keep their tank count down lower, it's going to mean so that they can't move out until later on, and you can macro up and get more bases. So that's what Stork's doing. He's just putting pressure on, getting his third base up. Hiya does have that dropship out now, so he's going to have a drop. Looks like 2 vultures and a tank incoming. Let's see if he can do any damage with this to try and counteract the damage that's been done to him.
Yeah, and if he had done it a little bit earlier, he would have caught Stork before he got his observatory up, but he already has that observatory up. He's going to have observers, and that's very critical when dealing with annoying vulture drops, because the vulture drops can cause more harm from their mines than anything if they can mine up your mineral lines or your gateways. He looks like he is going to go for the back here of Stork's base, and the observer is out, and looks like, yeah, he is going to be trying to loop around and pick up go to that mineral only at the very back. Looks like a Vulture getting sniped in the front of Stork's base. Stork has not really put up a contain at Hiya's base. He's just content to play at 3 bases for now. Looks like there's the drop there. Stork was not anticipating this. Speed upgrade of Vulture is going to go in and try to pick off some probes here. Looks like they get a couple of probes, but not that many before Hiya is forced back here by the Dragoons. And there is that Observer, like I said, and the Observer is going to help clear off these mines. But Hiya has managed to delay mining for quite a bit, and now doing a nice little ferry there, dropping his vultures on the bottom. You might be able to pick off a couple more probes, although his tank is now going to go down. Not really doing an amazing amount of damage, but certainly putting Stork a little bit behind. Well, not behind, but just doing a little bit of damage to Stork. And, overall worth it, I would say. Hiya right now is still in a difficult situation. He needs to do more damage, or he needs to go for a timing attack of some sort, because he doesn't want Stork to be able to pick up another base and just play a macro game against him, especially not on this map.
Yeah, and he did save the dropship too, so he really only lost a tank and 2 vultures there, and he killed several probes and did a lot of distraction there. So I think that was probably effective drop as well. And he does have that dropship, so he could try and do some more. Wouldn't be surprised if he does more vulture drops as well. And here he actually comes in with another dropship. Probably not going to see a tank in this one. Probably just going to drop some vultures and try and pick off probes. And meanwhile, he's setting up his third base as well. So, but Stork, oh no, there is a tank. So completely wrong on that. But Stork is prepared for this. He's got some forces there already. He pulls his probes off. The tank's going to go down very quickly. So not too much damage done there. And oh, it loses the dropship to top it all off. So that's going to shut down Vulture Harass drops for a little bit, although it looks like Stork was kind of getting wise to that anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. And Stork right now going to pick up an early forge actually and go for some upgrades. He's meanwhile pretty content to play these three bases because he can put up another base. It's not like another map where some kind of map like Andromeda where you actually do have to put up some early pressure because the Terran is not that far ahead right now, and it's pretty easy for the Protoss to just expand all over the place. And the Protoss can really just do that pretty easily. Although not if he loses his probe. It looks like the probe's going to go down. That's definitely a huge boost for Hiya, in fact. Killing off that probe is much bigger than people think because now he can't expand. I mean, he has to bring another probe all the way around, and that's going to delay him by a minute at least. So nice work by Stork, and no, by Hiya rather. And now Stork going in for a frontal assault. I'm not sure if this is a great idea here with that wall in. I gotta think. Oh no, but he's getting a couple of zealots through the back. I mean, the wall in goes down actually. Wow, Stork with a great timing attack. I thought that was gonna be a total failure, but it still remains to be seen whether he can go in all the way here.
Wow, Stork going in, and he's kind of a, I guess, I don't know if you call it a bulldog if it's not a rush at all, but Hiya desperately trying to throw up buildings in front to try and delay these Dragoons from coming in and killing his tanks, but more being dropped. Actually, okay, it looks like he didn't have anything in that shuttle, he was just faking. But nicely done, dropping the zealots in the back to try and deal with those vultures and distract the tanks. Going in the front, he did lose probably more Dragoons than he needed to, but maybe at this point he's figuring, well, I've got an economic advantage. I might as well just throw away a couple extra troops and just try and throw Hiya off. Because again, like I was saying earlier, you want to keep the Terran's troop count down, keep it so they can't just get up a huge force to move out with. And so maybe he's content with losing 4 or 5 Dragoons to kill off a couple tanks there. Oh no, oh he's ferrying troops up to Hiya's ridge there, and I don't know if Hiya sees this. He's got 2 dropships loaded up that may fly right over that location, in which case they'll get shut down. Yeah, he sees it now, but not before Stork gets 4 Dragoons up on the ridge. This is going to get shut down, though. He has those dropships ready. They're going to be able to put the tanks down and stop this pretty easily.
Good try by Stork, though. Definitely interesting that he's choosing to go for harassment instead of just expanding over the place. Definitely another option, too. The reason why I said also you don't need to attack so quickly on this is because unlike Andromeda, where it's pretty easy for the Terran to slow push their way out of their base, it's almost impossible for the Terran to get out of their base here. The choke is pretty narrow, and it's unbuildable. So, Stork could have just macroed and gotten max and just waited for Hiya to move out. But anyway, he is going to go for the harass. Not a bad move overall either. Stork trying to defend his new expansion there, and he's actually still got 2 Dragoons in the back of Hiya's base. He's continuing his ferrying attempts, and he's gotten a lot of, looks like those are photon cannons going up here. Yes, they are, and he's going to try to defend with those cannons. Meanwhile, though, Hiya is going to move down with another set of dropships, probably with 2 tanks there. He's going to definitely try to shut down this expansion, and if he can shut down Stork's third expansion here, he's going to be able to just gain a big advantage in this game. And Stork definitely doesn't want that to happen. Stork with some nice Dragoon drops over the tanks, though. The tanks are all clumped up. The tanks will go down. Nice.
He finally polishes off those Dragoons in his base, but the Dragoons polish off those tanks, so Stork is going to secure that 4th base. And Hiya, he really hasn't been able to build up a huge army this whole time. He's been losing tanks to drops. He's been losing tanks to Stork's little pushes. It looks like he only has like 4 tanks to his name right now.
Yeah.
So Hiya is not going to be in a position to make a push at all for a long time at this point. And like you said, it's difficult to make a push anyway. The whole middle of the map is unbuildable, so you can't do a normal slow push. So this is not looking good. Hiya's going to be, and I was just going to say, Hiya's going to have to get back into this game by doing some good vulture harassments. That's pretty much his option at this point, is harassment until he gets a larger force. But Stork already has cannons at his new base. He's got either Dragoons or cannons at his mineral only behind his base. It's really going to be difficult for Hiya to pull off any harassment.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's just going to have to go for one big push and hope it succeeds. I'm not sure if this little bit of harassment has been what I would call successful, although he is going to go for a big 4-tank drop here. Oh! Probe's getting massacred. Nice work there, although these tanks will go down, and this is the problem for Hiya. If he had more resources in general and more tanks saved up... Oh, man! Some mines destroying! Oh, my God! 2 mines destroyed! A ridiculous number of zealots there from Stork, and Hiya is fighting his way into the lead. I gotta say, this harassment is putting him firmly in the lead in this game despite Stork picking up an extra base. He's killed so many
Wow.
probes and units with this ridiculous vulture harassment. Absolutely crazy from Hiya. I don't even know how he got these 8 vultures in. Did he just run through the main base? How did he get them in?
I
Did he
don't
do another
know.
drop?
I
All of a
think
sudden, there's 8 vultures in.
maybe he did a drop because 8 vultures would be the amount for two drop ships that he had there.
Yeah.
But that was just ridiculous. Those tanks sieged up at just the right moment. Stork just pulled his probes a little bit too slowly, and those I don't know if he targeted those probes with the siege tanks while they were sieging up or something, but destroyed a ton of probes. The vultures polishing off a lot more probes as well, and like you said, his army in the middle, those like Hiya could not have if Hiya had control of Stork's units, he could not have clumped up those zealots better to be
Yeah.
more damaged by those mines. Um, so Stork is kind of doesn't really have a big army right now, and it looks like Hiya's taken his opportunity with Stork having a little bit of a low econ and losing that army in the middle. Hiya's taking this opportunity to do a little bit of a push now, and it might succeed. He's got a lot of tanks, a lot of vultures, not that many speed zealots. Stork coming in here with a shuttle.
Oh, Storm!
Storm going off on
JB
everything
Storm!
though. Oh no! And that may have gotten Stork back into this game here. He was about to lose to that push and then probably have his expansions killed off, but those storms just spread beautifully over his entire army. Stork may be able to hold this push off now.
He might be able to. I was wondering where his tech was. He is trying to get Arbiters, by the way, but Hiya still has a good number of forces left, and these are all speed lots for Stork, but they're unsupported, and those vultures and unsiege tanks are going to eat those speed lots. So Stork now in huge trouble. His natural expansion in big trouble. The thing is, one thing that Hiya's harass prevented Stork from doing was stopping Hiya from moving out with his main force, because he was forced to pull his Dragoons back, and now Stork's going to lose control over his natural expansion. Tanks sieging up. I think this could be it for Stork, despite having that economic advantage from the early game. Despite Hiya's early harass failing, he's going to lose his natural. Hiya managed to get out of his base, and he's got a new expansion up. This is going to be it for Stork. So Hiya kicking some serious ass here this series.
Wow, I am really surprised that Hiya's managed to pull this off. I mean, he was economically behind from the beginning, and usually with a player of Stork's caliber, that's GG right there. But he's managed to harass his way back into the game. I really did not expect Stork to do so difficultly. And then
GG!
there's GG. Hiya has now killed 3 in a row. Wow, and
Stork can't believe it.
Stork can't believe it. Neither can I. Wow, Hiya has killed basically the two heavy hitters of Samsung Khan, the 2 players that Samsung Khan depends on in the Winners League, Stork and Jangbi, as well as Miracle in the middle. I don't even know what to say. I'm not sure how this has happened.
I gotta say, Stork doesn't know what to say either. He felt the game was pretty comfortable. At least, you know, he didn't feel like he was necessarily going to win, but I think he felt like he was definitely in the lead, and he was. He's surprised at how quickly he fell apart there. I think the main thing was that harassment, like you said, the 4 tank drop on the natural expansion, followed by the vulture run or vulture drop, pulled Stork back, and then Hiya moved out with his main force. Very, very good strategy from this young guy. And I gotta say, Hiya right now is 5th ranked in the Winners League in terms of win statistics. He's 14-7 overall. So yeah, I can see why he's doing so well. This kid definitely has potential. So we're gonna be moving on to the next game right now. I gotta say, I mean, Hiya, you know, with his fish eyes and his mouth breathing, still is pretty damn impressive.
Yeah, Hiya has already gotten an all-kill or 2 in his career, and so it looks like Samsung Khan is going to be sending out the guy we mentioned earlier, Great. Is going to be all that stands in Hiya's way for an all-kill, and Great is going to have a long journey ahead of him if he's going to win this game for Khan.
Yeah, definitely. Let's watch that now. Thanks for watching.